And here's the Sprout.
Welcome.
What are we up to today, Sprout?
Well, we're going to do some cleaning out of the chicken coop.
Is it a mess?
It's pretty poopy. Yeah.
It's a poopy
So
coopy?
we have a lot to do here today to clean up. We planned on doing it yesterday, but we ran out of time, so now we're doing it in the snow.
Well, yesterday was New Year's.
Yeah. Which is okay because I get pretty hot doing it anyway. So.
Hot
No.
heat-wise or hot angry-wise? Both?
Yeah.
What do we have over here?
We got the duckies. We had some fighting, so I was trying to figure out what was going on.
Who is fighting? The ducks?
The ducks, two of the males. They must have been fighting over something. So now we're gonna let the chickadees out. We'll give them scratchy grain and let them free range.
Sprout, it's snowing, and these ducks are in the water.
Yeah, that's because they like the snow and they like the water. They're pretty hardy.
They must be pretty hardy. I don't know if I'd be snowing or if I'd be swimming in the snow.
Yeah. So here we're gonna let the chicks out of the store. Chickadees. Look at my chickadees. Oh, everything's frozen. Everything's frozen.
You're gonna let them out?
Yeah, but I need something. I need something harder to hit here, or you can do it.
Oh, I can do it.
It's frozen. I get a shovel or something. Did you get it? Oh, that's... Chickadees! Listen, I know chickadees don't like the snow as much. Chickies don't like the snow as much, but you get to go out, little girls, because we're going to clean your coop out. I'm going to go back around this way.
Hello, chickies. Oh, they heard scratchy grains and now they're going nuts. They're all coming out.
She's not molting at all. Come on,
Oh,
Zuzu. Oops.
well,
That's all right.
so much for that.
Hammy Doo's molting. Pippy Squeak's not molting. Some are, some aren't. Little Chicken Little actually grew most of her feathers back, but then she lost her big tail feather. And she hasn't been the same since. So she molted. Bitsy, don't you be going far. Little molted for quite some time.
So who's Bitsy? That's the
She's our rooster. She's our own, or he's our only rooster.
Come on, camera. So that's Bitsy?
Yep, that's Bitsy. We thought Bitsy was going to be a girl, but it turned out to be Bitsy was our rooster. So far, he's been a good boy.
We didn't have a gender reveal party for Bitsy.
No, because we thought he was a girl. Yeah. So,
Well, they were supposed to all be girls.
look at Twinkle Toast.
Because we bought all our chickens as hens. So we
Twinkle
bought...
Toast and poppycorn. So it's not a perfect science, basically.
Well-
They're supposed to be sexed as hens, but it's not a perfect.
Yeah, I mean, you pay... We pay... You pay extra, right?
No.
When they're sexed?
I don't know.
Weren't
I don't
they...
think so.
I don't know.
They weren't that expensive.
Well, at any rate, Tractor Supply owes us an explanation.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
I mean, we're even using soy-free food to make sure that our chickens, stay the way they're supposed to be.
Okay, so we better get to work on the chicken coop now that everyone's out.
So what do we got to do here? Work on the chicken coop.
We have to clean her out.
Work?
Yeah. Yeah.
You,
We have to clean it out.
you do work?
Yeah, I do all the work around here. What happens? So we have to clean it out. You didn't bring the manure spreader over yet.
The manure spreader.
The mini manure
Look at this
spreader.
fine piece of equipment.
Oh, Chicky's found the duck poop already.
So there's our little miniature manure spreader.
Luckies?
That's what we load up with the chicken debris and duck debris.
Comes in handy. We gotta clean up all this too.
Yeah, I thought we were supposed to clean this up.
Oh, actually, this one has. This one has. This one's got in the garbage.
Sprout, we should clean this up off camera.
Yeah. Well,
It's supposed to be clean when we start filming.
It is what it is. This is chicken cooping and duck keeping and chicken keeping isn't a clean job.
It's not a perfect science.
It's not a perfect science.
So what do we got here? We've got welcome to Stinker and Sprout's Chicken Coop.
Yeah.
Grass fed, I suppose, free range, farm fresh. Yep.
Mostly.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely fresh.
Just scramble on in.
Well, you better scramble on in there.
Ooh, it's stinky in here. Let's get our little wood in here. Little piece of wood in that holds the door open.
That's essential equipment right there.
Yes, because it actually does hold the door open. Hi, little Foofy. That's little Fiona. She's a good little girl. Ooh, it's stinky in here, little.
How about you shed some light on this here subject?
So, what do you want me to shed some light on? This is the chicken coop.
Turn the light on.
Turn the light. Oh, that's the outdoor light.
Hey.
There we go. Now we actually want to turn the fan on also because it's pretty stinky.
So we got a fan in here.
I brought my mask.
In my infinite wisdom, I installed an exhaust fan. And that keeps the dust out when we're in here cleaning and kind of takes the stink away from you. What? That food? Well,
we gotta figure something else out for that.
that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
So it looks like we got like a mountain of poo in here or something.
Yeah, we sure do.
Look at that. So that's because basically this has been frozen for I don't know how long. It's what, January 2nd?
Yeah.
And it's all been frozen
For at least a few.
for a few weeks here. And basically
Started to freeze up again.
that watering pail there drips water,
Makes it icy.
and that falls in the bedding and mixes up with everything and forms big giant blocks of ice. And it was very difficult to scrape off the floor. In fact, it looks like we might still have some in there.
Yeah, we should have. Unfortunately, we should have gotten to this yesterday, so it didn't refreeze, but we'll figure it
I'm sure
out.
we'll get that up today.
We'll have to kind of do it slowly.
But we're probably going to put a tile floor in here eventually with the electric heating elements in there, so that when it comes time to clean this out, we just flip the switch and heat the floor up and thaw out the giant poopsicle.
Yeah. Yeah, because this is going to be an issue here.
We got an automatic door in the corner. Here's our nesting boxes. Little flip-up shelf in case we gotta do any emergency chicken surgery or whatever.
This has worked well for when you have to check out chickens. Sometimes we've had a few chickens with a little bit of a prolapsed, what do they call it, prolapsed back? Prolapse?
Do we even want to talk about that?
No.
Can you imagine what people are going to say when they Google that?
Sometimes you have to. What is
and they realize what it is?
Chicken hemorrhoids? Is that what it is?
I don't know.
But anyway, this helps because we put them on there. And this spray is really good.
Yeah.
It's an antimicrobial. I can't say that.
So there's what you're saying here, Sprout, is that there's a bit more to chickens than just collecting eggs.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's what they call husbandry.
Yep.
And you got to actually take care of them
But anyway,
and keep them healthy.
yeah, this table works really well and it springs up. And we actually cut it so that we used this piece here.
Yeah, that was a
Because that's where it
4-foot long
fit.
table, actually. We got that at Lowe's
And we have 2 feet that we use inside
in our camper.
in our camper,
In the
which
kitchen.
worked out really well because it's like our dish and gives us extra space in the camper.
So this here is the control center for the door, the automatic door. And basically, when you push the button, that controller triggers some relays and a motor controller, and the door goes down automatically. There's some switches that tell the controller when the door is open and closed, and there's a photo eye over there in the corner. So if a chicken were to get in the doorway when the door is closing, it would stop and go the other direction. There you go.
Which is good.
Yeah, switch is a little sensitive.
But we haven't even been close to it yet because
Yeah, you don't want to squish your chickens.
No, but it's good to have. But we haven't even had like a.
Is that how you get scrambled eggs?
Except for right here, we barely have had anything close because they're such good girls and they learn really quick. And they don't go, they don't go close. And pretty much we were always afraid like it'd be. I don't know, have we had any close calls with that?
No. Well, part of that is because we've also got these cameras up here.
Yeah.
So we have multiple cameras all around the coop and the run and everything else. That's how we keep an eye on the chickens.
Little she needs you.
So we don't control, well, we control the door from another camera on the outside, but we don't trigger the door until we visually verify that it's safe to do so.
Yeah.
And sometimes these chickens like to come in here and dance around and
then go back out.
And go in and out, and they have their whole little routine that they run through every night.
Although they really go with the sun, so in the winter they go in a lot earlier, especially the big girls. Our first original 6 are called Big Littles, and then our next 12 are called Little Littles, and then our next 10, we have 28 chickens total, are called Tiny Littles. And so the big girls, hi Little Diamond, the big girls.
What are you complaining about? Maybe she's getting ready to lay.
Yeah, the big girls, they go in wintertime maybe 2 or 3 o'clock because they're actually just following the sun. And the little
they go
girls
in
will
to
slowly
play pitch.
Yeah.
It's past their bedtime.
To go to bed, yeah. So we actually just, in the summertime, they'll stay out a lot longer because, if the sun's not going down until 8:30 or 9 o'clock, they'll stay up until then, but they really just follow the sun. And we just want to make sure that the door is shut before it gets, too dark. We don't want it to be dark for too long because that's when predators come out in the dark.
So basically, like, our nightly routine is to check on the cameras and see what the chickens are up to, and then as soon as the opportunity presents itself, we shut the door. And they stay in here pretty secure the entire night.
And then in the morning, the same thing. The sun is we pretty much don't open the door until the sun is up.
Yeah.
And right now, the sun isn't even up until well after 7 o'clock, so they just stay.
Yeah, now the reason that I went through all this trouble to kind of make this custom door thing here is because I looked at all of the different commercial door actuators, and basically they all run on the sun, and they have a photo sensor that tells the little controller when the sun is up, and that's based on light or the presence of light, and it will automatically open the door. I work in IT, so I'm familiar with cybersecurity and all that stuff. So the idea that something could just be automatic like that, I wasn't really thrilled with. I wanted to have manual control where we decide when to open and close the door. Because what prevents somebody from just taking a flashlight and aiming it at your door and opening it up in the middle of the night? That wouldn't be ideal. Would it, Sprout?
No.
You gotta watch out. Those weasels and those foxes, they might come out with a flashlight
They get smart.
and open up your chicken coop to get to your chickens.
Yep. They do get smart. Animals are smarter than you think.
They sure are.
They sure are.
So pretty much we just wanted to have a manual way to trigger the thing, and there wasn't really a whole lot of products out there that did that, believe it or not, that didn't cost a ton of money or just weren't industrial grade. So I mean, this is a little overkill.
What's going on, cutie pie?
Yeah, that's a garage door opener controller and some relays and a 12-volt power supply, and we have a 12-volt linear actuator on the other side of the door there.
Okay.
All right. Well, while you're putzing around with that,
Yeah.
what, do you have something to say?
No, I was just gonna say the chickens just want to know what I'm doing. Normally, if I have a shovel, they'd be scared by it and they'd want to be outside, but they just don't want to be in here. Ah, Kofi, what are you doing? You guys miss me. I mostly get to see them only on the weekends. I don't get to see them very much during the week. So they miss me.
That's right, because you slave away for the man, right?
Yeah. Yep, I have a job.
Well, I have a job too.
Yeah. So they miss me. Which I haven't seen them in a couple of days. I saw them quick yesterday, but we had stuff going on, so we couldn't be here very long. Ah, chickies. Look at little Poof. What's going on, Poof? You gotta lay an egg still?
I'm gonna go on the outside and
start.
show a little bit of the door and the run, and then
I need you to bring the spreader over because I gotta take some of this mound and start putting it in.
oh, I gotta do that.
Well,
That's my high pride tasking for the
yeah,
moment.
so we can at least start getting this going.
All right.
So, because then what we'll do is after we clean it out, we'll show you the fresh wood chips we put in, which we make ourselves with Amish scrap wood from
Our sawmill friends down the road.
Our Amish sawmill. We get scrap wood from them, and it works out perfect because we make bedding for inside here. We make it for out in the coop or out in the run. We make it for the ducky coop, and it works out really good. And that's it for now. But we got
The Amish made this chicken coop, by the way.
Yes,
They did a fantastic job.
Yep. They did the shell, and it was beautiful. And then we added a lot.
We added the all these bars
for
or roosting perches. You know, these 2x2s and the ladder apparatus type stuff so that they can climb up. We recently added this grid on the ceiling here, like this big rectangle structure.
Yeah.
That
to give them more room.
It's suspended from the ceiling, and basically that was because once the birds got all full grown, they were occupying pretty much from left to right, shoulder to shoulder on these bars. Some of them were even in the corner there, and those pieces that go like at a 45-degree angle. So I figured how to best make use of this space. So this thing is high enough where I don't hit it with my head because I'm 6'2". So I can still walk under it, but they have, probably, I don't know, 20 linear feet of space that they can go on, and we can add more pieces going from left to right in the center of this.
And basically what we realized with the first 6, we learned a lot from the first 6 because that was our first
The original
time.
6?
The big littles.
The original 6, the OG chickens.
the big littles. What we learned is they actually just want to be as high as possible. It's like their natural instinct to go high at night, to be away from predators.
I guess wild chickens would nest in trees.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I don't know how many. Well, there's not a lot of wild chickens around here, but yeah.
Well, where do you think domestic chickens came from?
Wild.
That's right.
So anyway, we wanted to
So inside every one of these cute, cuddly chickens, there is a chicken beast waiting to come out.
A wild chicken. I don't think so. These ones all have names. These ones are all named.
And that's the important part, right? If you don't name them, they go feral and they turn into degenerate chickens.
I know. Look at little Foofy.
They lay scrambled eggs.
Look at little Foofy, how cute she is. She's trying to get my attention. What's going on, Foofy? You don't have to do that.
She's doing the chicken
I'm
dance.
not Bitsy. You don't have to do that. Hang on. Little Foofy now. Look at her. It's okay. You don't have to sit like that. Little Foofy. She's so cute. She was trying to get my attention. She thinks she's doing the stance.
The chicken dance?
If a rooster comes around, they do that stance to do here, hang on, little girl. You don't have to do that. Little Foofy has been molting for a while too. Huh. She's one of our. She doesn't want me to hold her now.
That's okay, Sprout.
I
don't need to move the camera a third time.
No, I know. She's one of our smartest chickens. She's a genius.
Really?
Yes. In the past, when I call her, she comes. I'll say, "Where's Fiona? Where's Fufu?"
Is she smart enough to put to work?
She might be. Well, they're already all put to work. They give us breakfast.
That's true.
What's your superpower? You don't have one.
Well, I don't turn wood pellets into eggs.
Yeah, no, you don't. All right, so what we'll do is I gotta start. I'm gonna need the.
How about you show us these Christmas ornaments over here that you made by hand?
Yeah, look at these.
All by yourself. Well, I helped a little bit, but
you did help a little, but they keep falling. I didn't hang them. But this is one for everyone. We got Little, Pete, Zinger, who we call Zuzu, Fiona, Poof 2. Poof 2 is the chicken model. She's such a good girl. Sometimes. We got
Oh, we got a little
poopy there.
little turd glue on there.
Yep. Poofy 1, Pippy Squeak, Squeaky Clean. She's so cute. My little Pippy Squeak, I love her. Peanut, and then we've got Cutie Pie and Buttercup. This is all in order of how they were named. Little Stinky and
These
Little
are in chronological order?
Yes. Little Stinky and Little Sprouty. They're the cutest chickens ever. They're so cute. They're very sweet, Little Stinky and Sprouty. Hammy Doo and Susie Lucy. There are green.
Slow down. Yeah, I was gonna say those are the olive eggers.
Yeah.
So they're the ones that lay green eggs.
Hammy Doo and Susie
So
Lucy.
so you know there's a what would you call that, a pun?
Yeah. That's
Green eggs and ham.
Yeah. That's a Dr. Seuss pun. Little Diamond. My Little Diamond and Marble. There are barred rocks. Marble Dew. Little Diamond and Marble Dew. There are barred rocks. They're very sweet chickens too.
Because those are rock names.
Yes. Pumpkin Pie and Tiny Toots. They're very sweet too. They're what are Pumpkin Pie and
The
Tiny?
golden laced wine.
Yeah, they're golden lace wine.
So they're kind of orangey.
Very good. Tiny is very talkative. She's probably our loudest chicken. She's always got something to say. And then we got Twinkle Toes. Twinkle Toes and Poppycorn. They're our first amberlings. We don't know much about them yet, but so far they're very sweet and they're cute. I think they're gonna lay like a light brown egg, but I don't know yet. I can't remember. And our tiny littles have started laying, but it's harder to keep track of who's doing what. And then we've got Peaches and Maple. Peaches was our our ISA, which we call ISA because they're so cute. And Maple and Sunny. And okay, so wait, what do we got? Peaches, Maple, Ruby and Sunny. They're all of our tiny little ISAs who are very cute. They're like a mix of a brown chicken and a red chicken, and they're just really sweet.
But they lay big eggs, though.
They lay very big eggs.
They're known for laying extra large or jumbo-sized brown eggs.
They're meant to be big production eggs, so they lay quite a bit. And they're really cute. And that's what Peanut and Pippy Squeak are, too, and I fell in love with them because they're very sweet birds. And then we got Peppermint and Patty. Peppermint and Patty are our first Australorps, which we don't know a lot about them yet either. But they're very sweet so
They're
far.
chickens.
They're chickens. We know they're chickens. That's about it. And then we've got Bitsy. Bitsy. And it says cock-a-doodle-doo because Bitsy, we learned it was November. End of November, we heard his first cock-a-doodle-doo.
Bitsy and Midge.
And Midgy Moo.
But
and
those sound like small names you'd give to a bantam or a small chicken.
Yeah. But they're our Jersey Giants. So they're our first Jersey Giants, and they're going to be pretty big. But Jersey Giants are known to be huge but very sweet birds. So far, Bitsy's been nice, but he's a scaredy cat. He's afraid.
There he is right there.
Yeah.
If you go near him, he'll just completely freak out and run away.
Yeah. Bitsy, I'm going to get you. I've been trying to... Bitsy Boops. I've been trying to hold Bitsy a lot. So
That's not as bad as normal. Usually he starts yelling and screaming like somebody's about to cut his head off.
Wait till I try and go pick him up. He won't let me. I can only get him by cornering him. Usually I corner him in between that door and then I pick him up and I pet him. But I'm trying to get him used to being petted and held so that he doesn't become a mean old rooster.
What are these things here, Sprout?
This is our chicken garden here.
Chicken garden?
Yep, so we grew a few different things. Squashes, because the chickens love squash, and some herbs, some different herbs that are good for them. I think we got mint over there. We have like parsley is really good for them. Some sage over there. I forget what other herb I did here. Something, I can't remember now. But that was really good for them. They loved it. And we basically just cut them and put them in the run and let them eat it. And now they're just eating up the remainder of what was left over. These were actually marigolds, which marigolds are like one of my favorite flowers. But apparently, because I just love to look at them, apparently they're very good for chickens. They're really good for the yolks. They make them really yellow, and they have a lot of other health benefits for the chickens. So they picked through those too. But we'll grow more of them in the spring. Hi, Poofy. What's my Poof doing? Look at my little Poof. She wants me to pick her up. Oh. She wants me to pick her up, this little Poof. What do we got? Poof 1? Poofy 1? She's a good girl. She's so cute. She's a very good Poof. Poof is not as winter hardy as everyone else, the two Poofs. They're California whites.
She's a California chicken.
But she's actually doing pretty good because right now her comb and wattles, which we would be concerned with, are actually looking pretty good.
That's the indicator? That's the chicken check engine light?
That's the chicken, yeah. It's pretty red. There's no frostbite or anything like that. So
and they're standing up straight.
Yes. Poofy. But sometimes you got to keep an eye on them because they're pretty. They're not as hardy.
You do got to keep an eye on these California whites.
Yeah, and because
they might move to another coop and change the dynamics of that coop.
Yeah. Poofy. You stop. So next year we'll be able to let the chickens free range a lot more in the summer, so they'll enjoy the garden even more because pretty much I would just pick it for them and throw it in, which they get really excited about. They actually just love when I would pick them fresh grass and stuff, but now we're more comfortable with letting them free range as long as we're here.
Yeah, so we let them out this time of year kind of like strategically, because there's no foliage on any of the brush or the weeds here. I mean, as you can see way far off into that other field over there. If I zoom in, so if a predator was to start stalking up toward this area, chances are higher that the chickens and the ducks are going to see it. During the summer, when all this stuff grows in and this foliage is thick, you could be 2 feet away from a chicken hidden. The chicken may not know it. So we're actually more comfortable letting them out in the winter this time of year, because you see the snow contrasts everything. It's just like us when we go hunting deer. Everybody wants snowfall to make the deer stand out more. Well, that's going to make predators stand out more for the chickens and the ducks. At least that's my theory. Yeah. You think it's a good theory, Sprout?
I don't know. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. No, it's a good to be cautious about the predators. Luckily we don't really have a lot of predators during the day that we know of, but
yeah, and that's what we've come to find actually is all these cameras that we've got around here. We've got cameras, all over the coop and the run, and the same thing with the ducks. We've got cameras all over the property. And what we found is, predators pretty much come around at night.
At night, yeah.
So as long as everybody is locked up, safe, and they're inside a good container, in other words, a quality built chicken coop that has no gaps, no holes, no nothing, you're pretty much guaranteed success, as far as protecting your birds. Knock on wood.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the wood here?
Because we already know that anything can happen. We do know that. But
we did have an incident 2 years ago?
Yeah. Well, no, a year ago. We did have an incident with a weasel. So here we are. We're in like coyote country here because we got a ton of coyotes and there's foxes.
Yeah, you hear them every night.
And here we are worried about huge predators. But really the predator we should have been worried about was the tiny little weasel that can get through this chicken wire in certain places if it's not, sometimes there's like...
Yeah, so what we found was, after reviewing the camera footage, not this coop, a different coop that we had, actually, it's that metal shed up there on the hill. That used to be our chicken coop. And we had a porch on that. It's sitting on a big pallet, like a 6-foot wide by 12-foot long pallet. And we had a wired-in porch on that. Same kind of wire as this 1-inch chicken wire. And after reviewing the footage and finding out where the weasel got in, and it managed to, it got 2 of our ducklings, Lottie and Dottie.
Lottie and Dottie were our original ducks. They started it all. So somehow.
Yeah, we went from 2 to 22.
Somehow.
But
they were sent to us for a reason because.
Yeah, because the original 6 were perched up in the top of that that porch enclosure, and the weasel paid them no mind at all. It was the weirdest thing. So it's almost as if Lottie and Dottie had a higher purpose. But what we found was these are not made uniformly. When they roll off the machine at the factory, some of these openings are bigger than others, and some of these twisties aren't together. Like, they miss on the machine, and you end up with a big gap.
And the weasel is
persistent.
small.
The weasel is small. The weasel is strong. The weasel has all night to crawl over every inch of this enclosure and find the one spot where it will get in.
And that's pretty much what he did in the old coop.
And we watched it on the camera. We
Yeah.
played back the footage, and it was amazing to see how systematic this stupid little animal. Well, obviously it wasn't stupid, but this little critter, a weasel or ermine or whatever you want to call it.
It was either a weasel or an ermine, which is the same family.
But we got it. We got it in a rat trap the next night. Because after we told some friends and some other people that had animals, they said it will come back, and sure enough, it came back.
The exact same time, actually.
Yeah, within
2
like
in the morning or 3
within
in the
like
morning,
5
something like
minutes of the same time the other night, and we had rat traps with some steak in it. It was pretty good steak. I mean, I would have been tempted by that steak. We didn't spare any expense on that steak,
that. Yeah.
and we got it. And that little thing fought the trap.
Duffy's being
Fought
bad.
the trap and got out of the trap. He managed to wedge the trap between a water bucket and the side of the coop and pulled himself out of it. We did find a little bit of blood on where he got out, and we never saw him since. So I would have preferred to have found him and verified, but
Really, what we've read about weasels is that their territory, they can travel up to like 10 miles, which is kind of crazy.
yeah, they range.
They could be,
they range quite a bit.
They could be here one night and be gone for 5 months.
Yeah,
and come
so,
back
like,
again. So you really can't let your
We're near
garden
Holland Patton. A weasel could be like in Rome tonight and be here tomorrow.
Yeah, which is nuts for a tiny little weasel. I mean, it's like smaller than a chipmunk, skinnier. It's
Basically a ferret.
weasel. Yeah.
Like a ferret is a domesticated weasel. And there's plenty of videos out there where people actually use ferrets to like eliminate rat problems at farms and stuff like that. So that's why I say there's wild chickens just like there's domesticated ferrets.
All right, so we should get cleaning this up because we're gonna run out of time. We've got some wood chips there, but we're gonna have to make more. Work time.
Work time.
Work time.
So I mean I gotta stop the recording and then I gotta actually do work.
Do some work. Yeah, bring that over for me.
I gotta bring that over.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we better get to it. Okay, Sprout.
All right, so
We're back in business. After all these dead batteries and then the manure spreader decided to blow up.
So we're just gonna show a quick shot of the clean coop. Everyone's
Clean
pretty
coop.
much back inside, and they're having a grand old time.
Turn the light on so we can see better.
We'll show.
Hey, there we go.
Oh, look at you, chickadees. And we've got 3 chicks in the dust bath. That's the soft over there. Or you can't see it that well. That's the soft bedding that we buy. We don't use it on the whole thing because it would just be very expensive and take a lot. And this bedding that we chip is actually just as good. But they do like the soft bedding to take dust baths in since we don't have any sand. In the summer, we'll get more sand for them. And they'll take sand baths. Well, look at all these chickies. They're excited. It's getting close to bedtime. We got some girls already going to bed. And they're picking through. They know it's new stuff, so they're actually picking through to see if they can find bugs and whatnot. And they'll actually be disappointed because it's all just clean wood chips. But that's what they do naturally, is to just scratch through it. And that's why we actually throw their scratch grain as well, because it's natural for them to scratch through things and try and find bugs and seeds and everything that they like. If you just hand it to them in a bowl, then they're not actually acting like chickens. Hi, little girls.
It's important that they act like chickens.
Yeah, since they are. Hi, little girly girls, since they are chickens. And Bitsy. Bitsy's being a good Bitsy? Yeah. Hi, little poof. The poofs realize that there is a new all fresh bedding in the dust bath, so They want to kick everyone out. They're kind of bosses sometimes. Little Stinky gave me a problem getting inside. Everyone else went inside, but I had to chase Little Stinky about.
Big surprise
Yeah,
that the
big
California whites tell everybody what to do.
Yeah. But Little Stinky, I had to chase her around about 5 times, and then I finally got her in. Little girls, you're not coming out. It's almost bedtime, so you can't come out again. You gotta stay inside. Listen, little Ruby Doo, I love ya. Look at ya. Look at ya. So, this bedding will stay. It actually smells really nice because it's got the wood chip smell.
Pine fresh smell.
Pine fresh smell. Fresh pine smell. And this will stay nice for maybe 2 days. But we'll layer it a little bit. With 6 chickens, we could layer for quite some time. Because you can just add bedding and it will stay fresh. They'll scratch through it as they want. They actually like it to be dirty, but obviously you want it to be as clean as you can. But with 28 chickens, we can only layer for so long, and then we do have to clean it out again like we did. So I added a little bit more hay to their boxes. We put the straw hay in their boxes, and they usually pick through that when they lay and everything.
We like that better than throwing wood chips
in the
or
boxes.
even the fine wood chips in there.
Yeah, we do that sometimes if we run out of the hay. We'll
The straw seems to kind of maintains its shape a little better than the wood chips do. The wood chips kind of go flat. Or when I say wood chips, I mean
Or they
the
fall
animal
out.
bedding that you buy in the bag.
Yeah, they fall out easily.
The straw kind of stays fluffed up, and the chickens kind of work it around in there and make like an actual bird's nest.
Yeah. Hi, little girls. Hi, little girls. All right,
Sounds like we got
chickies.
ducks over here.
Yeah, it's actually time to put the ducks in, so we'll see what the duck rodeo brings today.
We'll see how that goes. All right, chickies. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, Sprout. It's duck rodeo time.
Duck rodeo time. So let's just show the duck coop real quick. The duck coop gets extra poopy. But I did add a fresh layer. You have to do a very thin layer for the ducks because that's going to get dirty much quicker than even the chickens. And that's a lot to take out. So every once in a while we do a big
We got to give them food.
load out. They do need food. There's some over here.
So they got heated water during the winter, just like the
Yeah.
chickens. They got 25 pounds of feed in that feeder thing.
We actually use this as a winter thing, but we decided that this is going to work out really well for the summer, spring, summer, and fall as well.
So this is like a 12-gallon tub that we got at Tractor Supply, and I made that top for it. That top is actually a plastic mud flap for like a tractor trailer. Like I have a friend who does truck work. He owns a heavy truck shop, and they get gliders that come in, and they come with these plastic mud flaps, you know, that are like a temporary mud flap, and they're like 2 feet by 3 feet or something. So I just took that, cut it to shape to fit on the tub, threw some drywall screws in it, and then used a hole saw to cut those 5 holes in there. And that works really well for the ducks because it allows them to get their head in there so that they can wash their sinuses and get water, but they can't swim in it.
Poop in it.
And
'Cause they like
for
water.
the most part, they can't poop in it.
So we did have a big plastic pool right here in the center.
In fact, right where you're standing.
Yeah.
There used to be a kiddie pool there, and it would drain from the bottom. And it's no longer there because that drain would constantly get plugged up with the wood chips. And we spent more time unplugging the pipe
That was quite a bit.
to drain it out than we did. It was just pain.
So we decided this is just more floor space, and that actually works better. And in the summer, spring, summer, fall, they'll actually just be spend 8 to 10 hours outside, if not more, because of how much daylight we get. But they're talking.
All right. I think they want to come inside. So we're going to try
is
the duck
unusual.
rodeo here and see how it goes this time with the Sprout with teamwork. Are they all here?
Duckies, bedtime! I gotta get the stick?
Oh, there they go. Look at that.
Look at you, duckies, how cute you are.
So see, sometimes they go, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they make you chase them around for 7 minutes.
Now they need food. So
They're out of food.
you gotta go get their
All right, I guess I better go get some food.
Duckies are good ducks.
All right, good night, duckies.
Duckies are good.
Better be careful, Sprout. I might lock you in there with them.
Yeah. I don't think so. Okay. Those duckies, they're
Say
good
bye,
duckies.
Sprout.
Bye. I can't believe they listen to me. They don't listen to you.
Apparently.